Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What's up, guys? It's Sam, or the Portuguese mofo here, and I figured we would do another one before I look to just play some games, I think, for the rest of the night. Um, Probably not only Shogun 2, probably do some stuff with my good roommate here, but not that you guys give a fuck. I also did just get a pretty good 4v4 battle in. It was a long one. But Karube Gorge here, this is a pretty fun map from what I can recall. Now I don't remember exactly how this battle unfolded. If you notice the timestamp, it was back in early December, so a little while ago. But we'll see. Playing Haste Power here, and we'll see what unfolds. So we'll just pause it real quick. I got Wakos right here. Actually, let's give it the slow. Okay, I got Wakos up front here. Okay. Oh, we actually just see that some of his just appeared as well. Alright, I've got 2 Bow Ashigaru on the right flanks with Yari Cav and Light Cavalry. I've got 2 Light Cavalry and the Spears of Shizukutake as well. So it looks like I put all my Cav here. Check that. I've also got mounted gunners over here. I've got 1, 2, 3 Katana Samurai. Obviously my bow general. And some Yari Ashigaru in his rear. So very interesting here, right? So we're going to have a little Wako on Wako action. But he's got Wakos. I'm going to actually pause it because it's about to be a good charge. And I feel like I'm talking fast, but no big deal. We got Warrior Nuns on his left flank. We can see his bodyguard, which he is going more towards, it looks like a melee general, but he has scarce enemies too, so with some leadership in there as well. And then he's got 2 Warrior Nuns on his right flank. This also tells me, right, he's got a ton of guys hidden in here, which I think some of them had already popped up, right? And we're going to charge each other. He's going to get the better in the sense of he's coming downhill into my guys. I'm going uphill. Now I'm a little wider, so I'll get a little bit of the surrounding action. But I'm about to bring up my Cav, and more than even the odds per se, right? You can see the morale drop right there pretty hard. Now they're starting to waver, and here they go. Now they're routing, so able to get them, right? Just because he didn't have any support for the Wakos, and I was able to react with my cavalry quick. So I didn't even take a look at the shrines here, or dojos, right? But we have the shrine, right? The morale shrine. We've got the sword dojo, and then the archery dojo is way over here, which is very interesting, right? He's gonna go try and take that, which for me doesn't matter so much in this battle. So we're starting to see some of his. He's got some Warrior Nuns, Yari Ashigaru, some more Warrior Nuns, a Daikyu. Okay, missed some of those units in there, but that's okay. So I've pushed up here, right? I'm taking the shrine. I'm taking the attack dojo. I've got my mounted gunners over here, because these Warrior Nuns won't be able to do anything to them. So, right. Yep, he's even going to try and stop him, hide him here in the woods, but it's not. Although it'll provide them some of that cover, right? But it won't do much in this situation. So let's see if we get these shots off. It looks like they just want to stand there. There we go, right? Only 5 there. But now they're going to run right at me, which should provide more shots. Okay. Just taking my time here. And now he is moving up. So there we go. He's got 3 bow samurai. Okay. Make that with a bow ashigaru. And just those 3 infantry there. I feel like he might have a few more, right? We've been able to cut these Warrior Nuns in half with the mounted gunners. We just backtrack a little bit. Okay, those Warrior Nuns are just hanging out there, right? No major threat. Alright, and I've got my own bows over here shooting into them. Now, Warrior Nuns don't have great armor, so this stuff is going to be devastating. Right, so I think on his part, right, a little too reactionary here. Okay, I'm just dictating this fight, right, 100%. Okay, he's shooting into katanas, which he's kind of got to here. Right, he doesn't have many other targets. But for this, right, we're just going to take out these nuns with these bows, okay? Right, and now it's just getting into all of this, right? So Okay, these mounted gunners were able to take care of 2 units themselves. Alright, my bow general. I'm not even going to need those Yari Ashigaru, I don't think, right? Now we're just getting to the general. He's not moving there, right? So, jeez. Right, just a little too reactionary here. And by the time, right, he was even making a move up to the dojo, I just had control of every part of the battlefield. So, yeah, I mean, you know, good game to my opponent. I think it was the only match I probably ever played against this guy, just guessing. I'd have to go through my replays, but I lost some replays, I realized, after 5, so if I did play him again, I don't think I have just file movements. Sometimes you're just going to lose that stuff, but the bows, right, just a complete surrounding, and pretty devastating here on my end. Right, I was able to get the 2 most important dojos for this battle, so it's a pretty simple victory there. You know, it's one of those things, right? You don't necessarily want to be too aggressive. I have that issue sometimes, but you can't just sit back either. Right, I was just able to get every position. And one thing that definitely hurt him in this was not having any cavalry. So let's take a look at where his money really went into. You know, he had a veteran bow samurai there, right? Those warrior nuns. You know, just the spreading of those warrior nuns and them not being able to contribute to the battle definitely hurt. Now, I will say this, the warrior nun unit, I'm not really sure where it's a good choice. I just think there's better choices for pretty much the same function. But anywho, so let's look at the unit statistics here, right? And just a total difference, okay? So just what happens when you sit back, right? Mounted gunners were able to take out 2 units, right? And then just my cav, right? These light cav didn't do too much, but you know, we were able to get the general, just able to outmaneuver in a lot of sense, right? Katanas did decent, as expected, right? They didn't even have to get into the fight, and I could see that, right? The Wako Raiders were able to engage his Wakos right from the start, and with the assistance from the cav, able to annihilate them, right? So right here, these Wakos. So where was his money mostly going into? Because that wouldn't have been too crazy. So this Bow Ashigaru, but he did have some foot samurai and Daikyus. So the Daikyus definitely were expensive. Foot samurai not so much, but right. So this was the sense he was using the warrior nuns as almost like the anti-cavalry, but they were just so spread out by themselves. So right, this is one of those lessons of like, if you're not going to bring cavalry, you need to make sure you're really supporting all your units well. Even with, call it a Yari Samurai with rapid advance, or even, you know, marathon monks might be better, but, you know, a little bit that I've used them, where replay will probably come up that I'll do where I used them. Right, you just don't have the mobility that you have with cavalry, so that was it was a tough situation for him. It's a tough build for what he was up against here, especially, you know, mounted gunners. These can be a really tough unit to deal with, especially with how that whole battle unfolded, and not having any cav to just, right, challenge them. And his archers just weren't in position to challenge him, and I would have done my best to just keep them out of that position anyway. So if you come across this, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Have a good one. Peace.